Hey guys, Mike here. So I hope everybody's doing well, and we got a lot to cover in this video. And boy, we got some crazy earnings going on right now. I mean, massive dumps, massive pumps, and everything. Call sweeps just flowing in on a certain ETF, which I think you need to be very aware of, which is kind of sketchy in a way. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I did want to start off with this one. I don't know if you guys saw this. You got this chip designer, ARM Holdings. This thing jumps 40%. Let me know in the comments if you bought any calls on this, because it was absolutely insane move. And I think a lot of people are just basically YOLOing into these chip makers, right? Because I don't blame them, because a lot of them are just going up huge. But see Disney popping, you got Hershey going down, which is kind of, I mean, these kind of like consumer type stocks just going down. PayPal goes down. But man, what was crazy about the ARM trade, there's this 140 call option right here went up by 55,000% today by like noon or something like that. So you're putting in $100, making 55,000. There was one person put in 20,000, ended up with 1.2 million. Congratulations to that person. They won the lottery. And so that's just crazy. So let me know in the comments if you participated in that one. And I did want to say this. Kathy Woods put out an interview yesterday, and I've had my beef, and anybody been around long enough knows that, with her, because how the way she does things. And you'll see this, like she says they're all about innovation. Okay, cool. What's the most innovative stock now? What's innovation now? It's AI, right? So Nvidia is the king and stuff. And of course I'll show you what she's done with Nvidia, and then where she puts the money is just mind-boggling. I don't understand it. And I always say there's an algo honestly against her. I'll show it to you as well, as I've actually tracked this before, where she'll buy a stock and it goes down, starts going down. She'll sell a stock, it starts going up, right? That's why I was a little nervous, because she bought a lot of Palantir after it popped 23%. God forbid you wait on a pullback, but she bought a boatload of it then afterwards. But listen to this interview right here. It's like, really? I mean, no crap, this is what happened.
We think they have a long way to catch up. We are way below where we were at our peak. Now, maybe we shouldn't have been there, ARKK at 160. But down to 45, we think interest rates clobbered our style.
Yeah.
And we've paid our dues, and now earnings and revenue growth will speak loudly.
Sorry if you heard me laughing in the background right there. I mean, I couldn't help it when she said RK 160. But it's like, yeah, interest rates had a little bit to do with it. What it had to do with it is you keep buying these non-profitable companies, and you keep selling good companies, and then piling it into garbage is what it comes down to. Stuff that is pipe dreams, basically. And one thing she drives me nuts about is she has an entire team, right? An entire team to do research. We don't have an entire team, right? All these cool tools they got and everything, right? Spend a lot of money on this stuff. And look at what she does. This is what drives me nuts about. We're innovative. Cool, I get that. I love innovation. Let's do it. But she'll sell the innovative stocks. Like there she started selling Nvidia back in the day, in May, right? Started selling it in August. Like she just kept selling out of this thing. And what's crazy is the stuff she decides to put it in. I mean, this other stuff is not innovative. I mean, it is, but it's just, she doesn't understand government regulation, right? So she piles the money that she keeps selling on like Nvidia into this stuff, like Intelia. And I'm telling you, watch this. She buys it on the 24th, boom, just crashes and burns, right? On the next one, I couldn't even find this ticker. I think it's OTC maybe or whatever. She buys this one, dumpster fire, right? I don't know if that's the right one. I looked up 3 different ones that had this kind of ticker, and it said OTC and some others. Here's another one. She buys it. Look, it dumps, right? And then we get the rate hiking rally, the pause and all this stuff, right? And this is what biotech absolutely loves, right? Then you get CRISPR, and you go, she bought that again. It dumps right there. It goes down 25. Then we get the rally in November, and you think, man, this looks great. Like we're up. And then you go, wait, man, let me pull out here real quick on the weekly. Oh, man. No, never mind. I mean, look at that. Good Lord. Then you go over here to whatever RX is. Again, she buys, it dumps. 43%. Goes in November rally. So, hey, you're almost break even, right? I mean, you're almost back to break even. But it's just amazing to me when she makes these purchases, because the fact she refuses to look at what country she lives in and the government regulations, and how, she just don't understand. Look, I wish, and should, these therapeutic companies and things like that, and stem cell research and all this stuff should be allowed, and should be way farther along like our European brethren. Yes, but that's not going to happen. Probably not in my lifetime, right? Because if that stuff happens, You ain't popping pills no more, okay? And that cannot happen. You don't need all that medical equipment to get hip and joint replacements anymore. That's not going to happen. They own Congress. These companies don't have the money to do that, right? That's why that's not happening. Not because we don't need it. There's a reason why athletes in this country go to Europe, all right, and get stuff done. There's a reason, because over there they can get it done. Here, people think it's red tape. It ain't red tape. It's your government that prevents that, because they want you to keep popping those pills, getting those hip and knee replacements. That's where the money's at. Okay, when you go to your surgeon, they had to do a consultation or whatever you want to call it with you. You know, they ain't getting paid for that. They only getting paid if they cutting. Okay, remember that. So if you ever get an ortho or something that says, you know what, let's do a more conservative treatment instead of surgery, that's the one you want to hold on to. I'm just telling you right now. But that's why she keeps putting this money and just piling into these stocks. And it's just crazy to me that she does that and goes, well, we're innovative. Well, be innovative and stocks actually go up. Like, you know, you knew AI was going to be pumping. And so put the money in there. Like, do something with that. You know, I don't know. I'm sorry. I got off on a tangent there. When I see it, I'm just like, Lord have mercy. I don't get it, man. Because if I had a team and that kind of money to research all this stuff, but you got to wake up one day and realize what country you live in. You just got to. I mean, you can't keep fighting, you know, and spitting in the wind, as they say, right? So anyway, here's the good news, though. Our friends over at Seeking Alpha have a 55% off of a program they have called Alpha Picks. It's a whopping $89. And when you look on the website, you'll see they have a team basically running a portfolio, right? And so when you scroll down, you'll get to see the portfolio right there. And, you know, like for example, they were in Super Micro back in 11.15, so it's up massive. But you just scroll down. Each one of them, you know, has a detailed write-up on it for you. If you're one of the people you like to sit there and have ideas and the detailed write-ups and everything of certain stocks, and they're doing pretty good. I mean, they're up almost 100%, right, versus S&P's up 31. And here's one of those detailed write-ups, like when they presented, you know, Super Micro, and they'll keep putting these out there to you as they own the stock. If they sell it, they're going to let you know and stuff. But you can see just about everything you want to know about Super Micros in here. You'll get emails showing you, hey, here's a buy alert, here's a sell alert, here's why we're buying, here's why we're selling, and all that good stuff. And then you'll also get invited to webinars. So you'll get to listen to detail from the team running the portfolio and stuff. And so if it's something that interests you, just go down in the description right below this video, hit right there, $89, hit that link, and you can sign up and take advantage of that, and let me know how you like it, okay? Now, as you can see, the S&P, and I say this laughingly, did get over 5,000 for about 10 seconds. Look at that. This is a minute chart, by the way, okay? That is just crazy, isn't it? 1 minute at 3:59, right before the market closed, it blipped up above 5,000. So it don't really mean anything. It didn't close above it, but at least it eclipsed it, right? Now you got IWM had the bigger day, which is kind of surprising, to be honest with you, how the other ones were basically flat, and then there's IWM having a very nice day, about 1.4%. And I mean, you can see, I mean, MACD RSI looks fine, but what was happening? Here it is. This is what you're waiting for on Tesla, right? Which we'll talk about. You got the sweeps rolling in. Here's the call sweeps rolling in right here, okay? Just many of them. There's 1.5 million for February 16th. You know, here's 1.2 million. Who knows if these even open anymore? To be honest with you, you don't know when they're going to close them out. But this is the stuff that gets flowing, right? You get these big sweeps come rolling in, just like you've seen on Tesla many, many times, right? And so that's what starts happening. And the book starts rolling. Market makers have to start scrambling, buying the stock and everything. And so it had a really, really good day. Now, whether that's going to continue tomorrow, we'll have to see with weekly option expiration. But when you go back, you can see it is just trying to get above like that 190 area right there, close above it, because that's that volume gap. That's when this thing can fly. If it would ever try to get above that and start moving, I mean, it's just insane to think how hard it is for it. And we bring in the moving average, you can see it's above the 50 moving average. Still haven't broken back through that trend line, which was support multiple times on this move up right there. But when we go over and we're going to get rid of these moving averages and pull up a 5-day, you can see on the 5-day right here, which a lot of people like to follow. Now, it's starting to curl back up, which is a good thing. It did get above the 5-day moving average, closed above it. And so we'll see if this momentum continues into tomorrow. Right now, though, on a daily, you can see, what do you see? We're still at a lower high, right? If it curls back over, there's a lower high. It has to break the previous high for this to really be super bullish, and it has to get through a big resistance area. Now, Tesla gap down this morning, basically started riding that anchor VWAP up. Once it broke prior day's high, it sold back down, then just rode the anchor VWAP all the way over. And when you look at this, though, point out on a daily, again, the 5-day moving average is curling up. It closed above the 5-day moving average. You do got the RSI again around 31, 32. Finally got your completed bullish MACD cross right there. You know, we're still way below that zero line. But looking out, I mean, can it run? If you start to see the call sweeps roll in, which I have not seen them rolling in, then that's when you'll get your push. I think that's just going to be the key until then, because that's going to, again, it's going to force market makers, for those who understand, to buy stock to hedge, right? Because they're the ones selling us these calls and puts and everything, okay? And so that's how Tesla moves. It's the most highly traded stock in the world. Shopify, another huge day. We talked about how it could possibly run up between 90 and 92 right there, which it did. There's a reason for that, and I'll show it to you in just a second before it actually hits some resistance. But when we scroll out, you can see right here, once it got up in that area right there, that's when it started to sell back down. And again, it's one of those things, when we draw a trend line here, I mean, you can plain to see this is definitely in a upward trend for quite a while, but even on the shorter term time frames right here on the hourly, you can see since February began, that is moving up nicely. And the reason why it really moved up nicely today was because it had a price upgrade. Ended up getting a $100 price upgrade from 82. Whoever CIBC World Markets is, doesn't really matter. I mean, this is just one of those ones it's a hot stock right now. Big moves in it up and down. So we'll see if we finally get a break on this one or it powers through that resistance area. Now, Palantir, another green day today, and you can see moving up in this fair value gap right here, moving up to resistance. We said, anywhere from 23.5 to 25, whatever it was right there. In that volume gap, it can continue to move, and it did. Again, I was worried when Kathy Woods said she bought a bunch of shares of this. I was like, oh boy, the algo is going to kick in and start selling it off. But it squeezed out another green day today. When we go down, and you also can see it's getting a bullish MACD cross on the weekly right there as well. And so we'll see if this one finally cools off. When we go to the daily, I mean, it's just leaving behind massive fair value gaps. Again, that RTH gap below where it gap doesn't have to fill at all, but that's a lot of imbalances right there. And so you can see everything's getting a little overextended right there, and it's having a reaction off of that fair value gap, weekly fair value gap, but it did mow through some daily fair value gaps. When that happens, it usually means continuation, which is what you've gotten. Okay, so when you see something mow through an imbalance like that, it usually means it's going to continue on. Now, Disney, look at this one. This one gapped up way higher. I actually had a $102 call. I just rode for the heck of it for earnings, and this thing went way higher than I thought it would. And so that made my day. But, looking at this one, that's a huge gap. I mean, look at the weekly candle. When you look over here, what you're really looking at, we're going to pull up the volume profile to see here, because this isn't like some tech stock, right? This isn't, a Palantir or NVIDIA or AMD. They own freaking a streaming channel and some parks and stuff. But when you look, this thing still can run up to around probably 115, 117, somewhere in that area. But you're right there at that next level for you break through to that one. So we'll see if this continues up tomorrow. That's a massive candle right there. And when you look at earnings, not too much. You got PepsiCo, a couple others are going to report, but nothing out of the woodworks that's going to make the market do anything. And on top of that, you have no economic data that I've seen coming out at all tomorrow. And so it's kind of free. Obviously, you got weekly option expiration. I was even talking to the guys today, and we'll see if we'll follow the trend, because since November 1st, it's like 71% of Fridays have been green. That don't mean you don't gap down during pre-market or anything like that or have a lot of volatility, but 71% have been in green. So it's pretty good, right? I mean, I forgot what the numbers were when I listed them out for them, but yeah, 71% is a pretty good number. So we'll see if we follow that trend going into tomorrow. So don't forget, the big thing is going to be, and I'll talk about it over the weekend video, is the big OPEX, which takes place, I believe, is on the 16th. And so that's, going to be very volatile, I think. So it's going to free the market up to go one way or the other. That's for sure. I think a lot of people are betting down, but again, we'll see, because we're at that crazy 5,000 area. But I can tell the members, I've seen estimates of 540, 550, 200, that kind of stuff on the S&P. I think even what's his name, Tom Lee came out and said, yeah, we should get over 5,000, maybe somewhere up in that area before we get a pullback, which of course a lot of stocks are due. I mean, you look at when you see stock charts and they're literally straight up like this, that usually doesn't last too long. But again, when you're in this AI pump, I mean, and you can see it just one, and every time those stocks show weakness, what happens? Here comes a price upgrade. Here comes a price upgrade, right? To keep it just pump, 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 pump. And so the bigger the rise, bigger the fall, right? So we'll see if that's ever going to happen, and eventually it will, of course. It's just nobody's going to be able to time that one out. So let me know what you think down in the comments and stuff, and let me really know if you played that ARM call option. If you did, congratulations to you. So, or if you played Disney or any of the rest of them. So anyway, have a good one, guys. Please hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. If you want to take advantage of that deal from Seeking Alpha on those picks, hit that link down the bottom. A whopping $89 is all it's going to cost you. So have a good one, guys.